Well, good morning everybody, and welcome to a beautiful crisp winter's morning with the roll of Portra 160 and my Hasselblad Xpan II. So today is really going to put my video making skills to the test, because it was never my intention to make a video today. In fact, it was never really my intention to take any images today. So my intention this morning was to come out on a recce. I never actually came to take any photographs, and certainly not to record any video, but I thought to myself, I'll grab the Xpan and we'll just indulge in a bit of photography, no intention of publishing anything really. And I thought, well, I'll grab my video camera just in case something really special happens. And then, well, here we are on one of the most beautiful mornings I've had in a long time. I've only got one lightweight tripod and I'm trying to cobble together a video using this camera and my phone camera with a series of images that I've taken throughout the morning, all on Portra 160, all on the Hasselblad Xpan, none of which filmed to any standard which I adhere to on this channel. So I thought the photography was over, but we still have frost on the ground, and if you look down there, there's beautiful detail of the frost-covered grass, and always worth a shot, especially when backlit. However, if I turn your attention up the hill to the woods there, the old ancient woodland where I've just come from, you can see the mist out of nowhere has just enveloped the entire area. So, back to it. It's not over until it's over. Come on. I think that's me done. Well, what a way to end this non-video video. This scene got me so excited, and exactly why I love photography so much, because it wasn't just the fact that we got lucky with a bit of mist rolling through and happened to find a nice image. There's more to it than that. The composition obviously was beautiful. They had these ancient trees, these wonderful old gnarly trees with beautiful, albeit quite harsh light. That's where I'm hoping the Portra 160 will shine. But these beautiful trees, atmosphere. But what I really love is that this image, or this set of images, what I've tried to accomplish with this set of images, is to tell a story. And that story is the old and the new. Because if you look either side of these old ancient trees. You've got new growth. We have saplings that are in these sort of plastic support tubes, which I sometimes look at with, I don't know, with a bit of animosity, is that the right word? Like, I don't like them, but I understand them. They're planting new trees, they make sure the trees don't fall over in heavy wind and rain. But in this instance, they just worked beautifully to tell that story of old growth and new growth. And who knows, you know, in 200 years time, someone might be stood here taking the same photograph, which will look completely different.
Imagine that. Imagine you could time travel 200 years into the future and shoot some of the same locations that you've previously shot. That would be something pretty cool. But, well, sadly, that's not going to be quite possible. Anyway, at the risk of rambling on, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the office. Now, the reason we've transitioned from location to the office is because I did such a terrible job filming on location, because as I've explained, I never intended to make a video, barely intended to take any images, but it was such a beautiful morning, and I'm so glad that I did kind of cobble together that film, because the final image, which you've yet to see, is easily my favorite from the shoot. But, you know, one of my favorite images that I've captured in some time, and that's because the image tells a story. So I tried to articulate this in the field, it didn't quite work. And here I have some great examples because it took me a few frames to get it right. But before we get started, if you'll just humor me for 1 second, this is my photography book, Landscape Photography on Location Volume 1. I've had this out for a few years now. Well, I am very excited and happy to say that I now have Volume 2 available, which is the natural progression from Volume 1. This is now available for pre-order, but pre-orders are going to end this Friday, so 2 days time at 6 p.m. pre-orders will finish. All pre-orders will be hand-signed, packed and shipped by myself, and should hopefully be going out towards the end of January, so help support the channel. If you haven't picked up a copy of Volume 2 today, I will leave a link in the description below. But for now, let's talk about this final shoot as the mist rolled back into the woods. So I initially tried to frame up the image like this, what you can see here with the trees, the old trees on the left-hand side kind of arcing over the new saplings. But for me, this composition doesn't quite work, and that's because there's too much contrast, there's too much chaos on the left-hand side and too much empty negative space on the right-hand side. So I then moved to the other side of the trees and tried to do the same thing on the opposite side. But again, look at the edge of the frame, just look at the edges of the frame. We've got absolute chaos and calamity on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, you've just got these kind of half trees here. And I could try and crop it, but well, I don't know, it's a mild improvement, I suppose, but it still doesn't quite work. The image still doesn't feel balanced. So in the video, you saw me sort of walking around lots of different positions, handheld. Well, finally, after a couple of frames, I realized that the best way to shoot this scene was actually with the cluster of trees dead center. And this is the final image, and I have to say it worked perfectly. All of a sudden, the composition became more balanced, and what I love about this shot is that transition from warm light coming in from the right-hand side through to the really cool blue light on the left-hand side of the trees. And whenever I see this mixture of warm and cool light, that is always something worth getting excited about. And what I tried to achieve with the other two frames, with the arcing of the trees over the saplings, well, I actually achieved that perfectly in this shot. So it took me a while to get there. You know, I think I was trying to be too clever. You know, often the best approach is the simplest approach, the most simplistic. I actually went ahead and made a print of this image just to see how it would look. I do, when I like an image, I like to, sounds silly, I like to confirm that I like the image by printing it. Just a small pano print on glossy paper. And although it's not the best print, there are some greens quite heavy in there, so I need to play with the colors a bit. But overall, it works really well. Anyway, I've got lots planned in the new year. February is going to be a very busy month for me. I've got a couple of excellent trips lined up, which are going to be a lot of fun and also quite different. January, to be honest, I've not got much planned in, but I just want to get away in my van and just, you know, shoot locally, shoot around the Lake District, maybe go up to Scotland, nothing fancy. I just want to get back in the groove of it. I've had a bit of time off over Christmas because I was quite unwell, and I just want to steady myself back into it. But anyway, there we go. First video of 2023, and I do hope you've all enjoyed it. Link for my new book in the description, and yeah, cheers for continually supporting the channel, and I will see you all, hopefully, next week.